We're here with Andricella and his 9th place
Invoked Mekk Knight Shaddoll.
How'd it go for you?
Honestly amazing. Everything performed really well for me today. This list is actually like insanely fun and like low-key really powerful. So as I go through it, I'll like mention all like the synergistic plays, just kind of like detail you so you don't think I just like sacked everyone, which like I did a lot actually. But alright, so obviously you got 3 Alistair. He's like the biggest resource engine in your deck, obviously, you know, he just +1s every turn, getting you invocation, adding himself back to hand, and like, he's a 1-card Almirage, and like, technically he's a 1-card Megabot, but I don't play the card to do that, because like, extra space is really tight, but like, regardless, 1-card Purgatory is really good. If you can get the Almirage up there before using like any of your other power cards, or like, Instant Fusion, Shaddoll Fusion, like whatever, like, it's really good to make Alistair with that. Like, sometimes you get hurt with like, Dark Locks up top, but because of him being able to just turn into a fire, like it clears it up to make Alistair like a lot. So then you go right into the Mekk Knights. You play 3 purple. I love this. If you're forced to go first, like opening up this is never bad. Like you make it a gate. This deck's not really meant to go first at all. This is a blind second, like invoked list, like 100%. So you just want to play like stupid power cards that just resource a lot. Like 2 blue. 2 blue can search up to like 2 or 3 Mekk Knights. Like you play like 3 other names beside it. So like most of the time you can resolve it for 2, because if you just like miss on blue, like it kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Like blue is a really big plus. And then you just got the 2 extra names. You got Moveman and you got Yellow.
How'd you think about Yellow?
Honestly, it performed about as I expected. I got off the MST like 3 or 4 times a day, and like in most situations, I had advantage generally, because if you're resolving an MST, it means that you've gone through like all of the Mekk Knights, and that means you've like +2 already.
Would you play it again?
Yes, I wouldn't take it out of the list. It's another light target, which is like really good, and it's like another body. It's a discard target at worst. Like drawing the bad Mekk Knights, you can just keep them in hand as Mekka fodder, so you can keep your Alistair.
You wouldn't play the Red Moon over it?
I would not play the Red Moon over it. You have a lot of monster removal in this deck.
Okay.
So that's the like the main summoning monster engine, and then you have your 3 Phantasmes. Just consistency. It's also a body. It's a dark. It's a negate against strikers. This is just like generally good. Yeah, I wouldn't take those out. And then like this is the 2 Shaddoll monsters, because you play Shaddoll Fusion. So Beast is when you Shaddoll Fusion with Beast, it's a draw 1, and when you Shaddoll Fusion with this, it's an MST. So like worst case, like if you need to get that draw off or you need that MST off, you can just like send both of them to make window, and like you get the draw 1, pop 1 chain block, which is really cool. But like that also turns off the ability to make construct, because the moment you get rid of window, you get your Shaddoll Fusion back for like the next turn. But like a lot of times you'll discard it for the Alistair link too, to like search like another invocation or poke the wall, because you really don't want to sit after you combo. You want to kill your opponent, and like Purgatory is a card that helps you do that. So then onto the spell engine, which is pretty much like the biggest part of the deck. 3 meltdown, like a terraforming. It's honestly standard. You can't not play this if you're playing invoked. It just doesn't make sense.
Of course.
And then to go along with that, 3 invocation.
Why 3 not 2?
I played 3 desires.
Makes
so
sense.
like, it's a really aggressive, like really aggressive build, and it's meant to play like through Thunder. So like the 3 desires was necessary, and because 3 desires, you just bump everything to 3 in the deck. But the engines weren't so big that like that was a problem in general. The engines in the deck are like generally small. That's why you can fit 3. You know what I mean? So like banishing 1 or 2 invocations is not like the end of it, because you still have super polys, instant fusions, like Poke the Law, like stupid shit. You know what I mean? And then you play the 1 Poke the Law on top of it.
Yeah.
This card is like actually hilarious. Like it's really bad just to open, but then like there are moments where like it literally would just win you the game. Like twice against 1 person, I opened this card and I was like, fuck man, like this is trash. And I dodged an impermanence on my Raiden game 1, and then to make Mekka, and then I dodged an impermanence on my Mekka to make Raiden game 2. And I was like, alright, maybe this card like isn't the worst.
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean? Like it was kind of buff. And then 3 Shaddoll Fusion. Like my favorite fusion card in the deck, and like I'm playing 3 super polys, and this is still my favorite. Like this card is like actually just a free fucking +2. If you can make the Alistair link first, like an instant fusion or mind control or Mekk Knight and Alistair, like some bullshit, like, and you summon this under Alistair, and like you can just keep the window. Like yo, window Mekka is like nuts. That's actually like really good. And like there was this one game I made the BLS link with the window, and it was like late game against Thunder, simplified game state. I literally just shit on his life. That was great. And then 3 super poly. So you don't play hand traps, guys, you've noticed, except for Phantasma. So you just play like a stupid amount of like retard board breaking cards. Yeah. Like unrespondable, remove 2 cards, plus myself a monster, like for a discard, like cool. I literally recur Shaddoll Fusion, and my discard is free. You know what I mean?
Insane.
And then 3 instant fusion, because I don't play hand traps and I need to break boards.
Yeah.
And like and the same reason you just play 3 mind control.
Okay.
Yeah. So like going second is just like free. And like people will make you go first, but you just like play good side cards, like just generally good side cards. and you just play the triple desires and like triple twins.
Okay.
The deck is just mega consistent. Everything gets itself. So like shaddoll fusion, you can send Alistair when you make Winda. So like you can just make the Winda as like an in combo monster. You get the Alistair, like you draw the invocation, like that's you already have, like that's crazy. Like you make it under the Alistair, you search the invocation, you send the Alistair, and then you fucking like link it away and invocation the Alistair. You get the Alistair in hand, normal summon, get another invocation. And now you have like Borload 2 fusions, or like, and you got the shaddoll fusion mech, and you've got construct next turn. Like it's actually like kind of insane. Like
would you switch out Twin Twisters for anything else?
If I did, it would be for Cosmic, because it makes it better. It makes it like an auto negate against Orcust. But Mind Control and Instant Fusion are pretty much auto negates against Orcust anyway. And Twin Twister is better against like more random matchups. And I'm more afraid of random matchups than I am of Orcust. Okay. Because I know what Orcust is going to do. Not that it's not like an incredibly strong deck. I just like understand the plays that's going to happen with it. So onto the extra deck, that's 41 card main deck. So onto the extra deck, you play the 1 Mirage, obviously. That's your only Link 1. You play only 2 Link 2s. The deck is very like low Link number. So you play obviously this because you know it's amazing. Searches Invocation, Book of the Law, and you play this because A, it's a light target, and B, it gets rid of like 2 annoying dark monsters. Like if you're stuck on a dark up top and all you have is an Alistair, like this just gets rid of that problem. You know what I mean? Okay. The BLS Link, for the beginning part of the day, only came up in 1 match against Striker, and then it was just like unsummoned in multiple rounds, and then I was like, oh, maybe this card isn't that great, and then all of a sudden I pulled out against Thunder, like late game, like this and Winda, and it was just like that was it. Like he had a Mekaba and like a set monster, because it was like a weird game state, and he cleared my board, and I literally just cleared my board. I ended up with like 3 monsters. All of them were bigger than Mekaba, so like he couldn't do anything to attack over it. And I was just like, alright, cool, Link 3 into an untargetable, undestroyable BLS, shaddoll fusion for Winda, attack your face on Banish Colossus, and then like I just kept poking for 22.
Disgusting.
Yeah, like that's actually like super free. And then Borload is, Borload's just Borload.
Did Borload
if you're
come
playing,
up at all?
Yeah, Borload won me games. If you're playing Mind Control, you play Borload. You steal their Link 2, you make Borload, and you just like steal shit. Like, the amount of times I stole Ninjutsu today with this because I fucking stole their Galatea because they had a negate like 1,000 Eyes, like, that's free. That's so free. You know what I mean? You steal the Ninjutsu, you make a Mekaba, and then it's just like, what the fuck did they do through that? You know what I mean? Like, you just have negates. So that's that. And then on to like the rest of the extra deck, which is literally just fusion cards. Because, you know, I play 12 fusion cards. The 1,000 Eyes because it's literally buff and you can't not play it. The one shaddoll window because it's buff and you can't not play it. Kaliga underperformed for me today. Would I cut Kaliga? Absolutely not.
Did you verse Thunder at all today?
Yes. So the reason why this is good is that if you can make this and then get it into the graveyard while simultaneously summoning an Elysium, like let's say you make this and you super poly with it into your opponent's extra deck monster, you make Elysium, almost every deck plays fucking dark monsters. So having this engraved gives you Elysium for like 2 turns, which I don't know if you know is like actually insane. I literally banish your entire board twice in a row. Like who even needs Nibiru? I mean I still play it, but like, you know what I mean.
Insane.
Raiden came up. Raiden is very niche. So you're not going to summon him all the time. In fact, you're probably going to summon him like very little. But in the times that you need him, he's like literally indispensable. So the reason why I like playing Raiden is like an interaction I noticed with Orcust players. When they get the instant fusion under Ninjutsu, they make the window, right? And like one Mind Control doesn't get through that anymore now because, you know, it's fucking they have the goddamn counter trap. So even if you get like instant fusion and Mind Control, like you need that, and like that's just one problem. They could just have hand traps, you know what I mean? Like impermanence, whatever, Veiler, doesn't matter. So this, or like someone played Redoer, and like that's insane. So like you go to the Mind Control, they negate it, you instant fusion this out, and even if they have the Redoer, you can just book a moon the window. And like so even if they Redoer this, you got rid of the problem, you can now play the game. And like that's why you need this over 1,000 Eyes, because this is better against non-Link monsters, and this is better against Link monsters or monsters with protection. So like you need both. And on top of that, normal summon Alistair, super poly Appaloosa. Which by the way, Appaloosa doesn't get the negate because its attack never lowered. So that's a play. Purgatrio is the best card in the extra deck. Purgatrio was literally unstoppable for me today. Like actually insane.
How unstoppable was it?
Like I only lost once. And it was to the mirror. Purgatrio had to beat Purgatrio. Yeah, like that ass.
Broken.
Yeah. 1 star minimum. It's the only super poly target in the deck. You need one. You need one hard super poly target because like you don't always have the Alistair for super poly, so you just need like one. And like I said, Dark Monster's just like the wave right now. So you need obviously that. Construct. Construct's so fun. I was talking mad shit about Construct before.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, before the tournament started, I was like, yo, I didn't summon it one stat Brooklyn, this, that, and the third, and I summoned Construct more than I summoned Winda by a significant margin today. Construct was literally nuts for me. Double Mekaba, it's the only 2 of in the entire extra deck because it's Mekaba and it's negates and a light and like it's just good. Level 9 machine, cool. And then the one Elysium because like super polying any invoke monster into Elysium, or like if you have any invoke monster in the graveyard and you haven't made your Almirage yet, like if you had to make the Lambda or some shit, you just normal summon the Alistair, you get the invocation. If you don't have it, maybe you already have it, they negate it, whatever, it doesn't matter. You make the Almirage, and that's a monster special summon from the extra deck, and you have the invoke monster in the graveyard. So like that's just free. You just invocation into this, and like that's that. You know what I mean?
Anything you change?
Maybe yes, maybe no. I would maybe test it without the Kaliga, but like I feel like that's just wrong. I feel like this extra deck is pretty set. Like the flex card is like these two. You could probably this is probably the only 2 cards like the Borload and the BLS that you can change in the deck and like not see like dire consequences with. You know what I mean?
Okay, I understand.
So onto the side deck. The side deck was actually performed like very well for me today. So triple Nibiru. I resolved it 3 times, and every single time I resolved it, it led me at least gaining advantage. 2 of it was just flat out like win. Like I just like waited till they made their skeleton summon, and I just said, all right, erase. And like one of them, like he had the extender to keep playing, which is like okay, I still won that game. Lancia I would never take out. That card was just like absolutely stellar. Thunder says good night. Like yeah, like Dark Ruler on Thunder is like that's just free. They make like this crazy board and you just activate this and like yeah you don't kill them, but like I literally just have to normal summon an Alistair and I out your board.
Yeah.
And then I just keep like all the like super polys, like shaddoll fusions, like whatever in my deck. Like I can just set up like Winda, like Alistair Winda, like Purgatrio, and like wreck your board, and then like I have a Winda and you just don't have shit. And then I'll just like Booker the Law into like something important later. Even the match came up with me a couple times today.
How was
it? It was good. I played against a couple like you know Thunder is good against. I didn't see it against Thunder. I saw it against Draco, but I also opened up double red reboot against Draco game 3. So like that was just pretty much that.
Anything in here you change?
No, honestly, I really enjoyed my list today.
Honestly, Chella, I want you to never change.
Thank you, Steve. So, all right, my matchups went as follows. So, game 1, I 2-0'd Demise Striker. The deck, turn 1, if you open up like any kind of good hand, literally runs through Strikers. Now, Strikers can have their hands where they just like open up like the nuts, you know, triple fucking Widow Anchor or like double Shark hand, and this, that, or like the third, you know what I mean? Like really good hands. Like then you lose, of course, like whatever. But like just being able to like make a Phantasme and then like make a Purgatrio under like an Alistair and like watch them like struggle to like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like summon Ray and like kind of me, like Phantasme negate. Oh, I made a Mekk, but negate your spell card. Like you really and like Mech Knights are insane against Striker. You just literally like run through them. Like too many resources, too many big monsters. I OTK'd them every game. Game 2, I actually lost to the mirror match. My only loss was to another Invoke player who actually didn't do as good as me, which you know feels bad since I got 9th place. 9th place. But game 3 was against Orcust. I have this written down. It's on my phone actually, so I know I don't. So yeah, it was against Cyber Dragon Orcust. And then I went against Dino, that was 2-0. Then it was 2-1 against Dino Thunder. And then it was 2-1 against Orcust Pure. And then I played against Draco, and that was 2-1. Gren Maju 2-0. And then I 2-1 Thunder Pure again. And then I drew against Orcust. Which I had like advantage. Like I had Meltdown resolved. All I had to do was make Alistair, you know, go Almirage, Purgatrio, and like attack, but like time literally just ran out. I thought I had it, like I literally just mind controlled him, he had Gizmek. I was like, I can burn through a Gizmek, but he had Eagle Booster, which like kind of made it difficult. But I still think I would have won that game at the end of it. But yeah, so this is my deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy it.
All right.